Today, as the Department of Defense reports in the most recent report, about 24% of military spouses who are surveyed indicate that they're unemployed. Now that's factoring in that almost 40% have taken themselves out of the workforce.
I was working and now I am no longer working. I am actively looking for employment, and it is without a doubt one of the most soul-crushing things ever. Looking for a job is like a job in and of itself. Prepping resumes and cover letters and getting, rejections, or you don't qualify, or oh hey, you're overqualified, and you're just thinking, I just want a job.
My current occupation is a legal secretary. Working full-time and having a husband who is a veteran and being a caregiver has its challenges as well, because if I'm working and I'm not able to attend some of his appointments, that can tend to be a little disheartening.
All of these amazing military spouses that are serving their country, but no one's hearing about it. And actually what they need is actually more significant than the country even recognizes. A military spouse takes on all the responsibility of a family and answers the call of service to our country. And so how do we make sure we're actually providing these individuals with the support to be successful?
DogTag's fellowship program addresses family members just 100% completely. I can't even express the fact that they are so willing and understandable if something comes up, because life happens, family things happen, doctor's appointments happen, and during the fellowship they're extremely flexible with anything that happens to come up.
The genesis of DogTag Bakery is actually two individuals who have had a life of service coming together with a common mission of teaching a man or woman how to fish. So the mission of DogTag is that we serve veterans that have service-connected disabilities, military spouses, and military caregivers to redefine purpose and rebuild community as they leave the military and into the civilian workforce and community. So when Linda came into the program, she was evaluating both her identity, again as an African-American female veteran, as an active service now veteran, and also what did the future look like. And again, she has a passion for dance, and she believes in the art of dance as therapy. And she actually has a background in education in it. And the question was, do I take this passion and do I make it a reality? Can it be a reality? And our program is exactly for that space.
I've always been a reservist, so in that capacity I've had the opportunity to go active duty a few times. My most recent tour I conducted at Fort Meade, Maryland. I believe the fellowship was really helpful in developing my skills of how to look at business and entrepreneurship a bit more critically. Watching people go into entrepreneurship is like, hey, I have this great idea, let me just jump in and dive in. And statistically speaking, that's worked well for some and not necessarily for the majority of folks. I'm most proud that I've stuck to my guns. It might have taken me 13 years to get here. I'm here and I'm doing what I love and I'm pursuing that full-heartedly. I'm just proud that I stuck to that. I didn't let necessarily people's words get to me. It took a while, but I'm learning it's about the journey and not the destination, so I'm most proud of that. I am enrolled at Drexel University's Dance Movement Therapy program, in which I get to, again, mesh my passion for helping people with my own passion for dance and just do some more, I guess you could say, science in terms of somatic therapy.
You do what's called rotations, and during those rotations you go through all the different aspects of running a small business, from hiring to budgeting to like ingredients and ordering supplies, management. I mean, you do all of those different layers that are involved in a business. And then you have the third part of the program, which are called learning labs. And so what I'm doing now is I work for a law firm in DC. I am right now working with attorneys doing white collar crime and financial crimes work. And I'm also going to school to complete my bachelor's in criminal justice. And I think DogTag gave me the leg up in many ways, because they gave me the tools I needed to interview properly, to do my resume properly, to communicate properly, to negotiate salary, which was one thing I was really bad at.
DogTag addresses service in the community by recognizing that those who have served both home and abroad have had the greatest calling, right? they're serving their country, whatever the job might be, whatever the stress at home might be, it's for their country. And when you transition out of that, you lose identity, you lose community, you lose culture, you lose actually the recognition of what the norms are, right? You transition from a white and black world, because that's why it's so efficient, to a gray world.
Through your career, there's trauma. There's certain trauma that you experience. You may not believe it, but there is. And then coming out and trying to deal with all that stuff, just trying to find the next thing, the next step in your career, the next thing you want to do is always a challenge, because a lot of times maybe what you did in the military doesn't really transfer well with what's out there in the civilian world. Probably the biggest challenge I see is an identity challenge. My identity was so wrapped up in my uniform and what I did. When it came to that last day and I took that uniform off, I kind of felt a little bit lost, a little bit like, okay, what now?
Recognizing that you need support is the greatest strength and the best thing you can do for yourself. And so once we can kind of get past that phase of, of this isn't about less than, but this is actually a strength of yours, and now look what the opportunities are opening, recognizing that allows our fellows to take the next step.
The fellowship helped me develop my skills by giving me a foundation in business. From the standpoint of being able to say, okay, if I want to do the business thing, I know how. I know how to start it up. I know where to go, how to network.
So if you talk to many spouses and kids, they love being military families. But we can't ignore that the challenges that they face, and we need to make sure that the systems that are in place to manage those challenges are ready.